Good afternoon, all. Camelback Trading.org coming to you this Thursday afternoon, August 17th. Looking at window traders market profile of the ESNQ. We have a lot to talk about, so this might be a little longer because this market's been interesting, right? Sellers have really been pushing. Every time it seems like they're in control, they give it up. We went out with a price spike on, look at this. We went out with a price spike on the 14th, Monday. We went out with a price spike on Tuesday. I'm sorry. We went out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with price spikes, right? Only to take them back the next day. The important thing to me, though, is not only did they give it up, but then what did the buyers do? When you're taking back a trend day and price spikes, right, you want to get into the upper distributions, right? So look what we did. So we had the price spike on this day. Yeah, the open went 4 wide. We spent some time and back and forth. In fact, we spent the majority of the morning in the upper distribution. But then in the afternoon gave it all up. And in fact, when we had our afternoon rally high, never even took out the upper end of the lower distribution. So in the end, rejected out of that upper distribution. Then again, we have a double distribution day, price spike. Today, we open in the upper distribution. Can't get, and by the way, if you don't think those overnight highs and lows are important, just missed the overnight high the other day, just missed the overnight high today, and look what happened, right? You think those are important, the overnights? So today we opened up in the upper distribution, couldn't get the overnight high. Beautiful risk reward short that was, and I missed it. I didn't take it. I was caught. Well, I'll tell you why in a second. And then spent the entire day in the lower distribution and then spiked again below it. Today we go out with a triple distribution day. We have single prints. How many sets of single prints we have? 2? Give me 1 second. We have 2 sets of single prints, but they're separated by 3 wide. So it's a triple distribution day. NQ goes out with a double distribution day. They have single prints in just K, I believe. And Righty goes out. They're the only ones that probe, but it wasn't much of a probe. They go out with single prints in K and J. So they have a double distribution day. Afternoon rally high in H for them. Same in NQ. Same for us in ES and SPY. When I went on the mic this morning at 9:15, I kind of told the room, I'm not happy where we're looking to open. I was like, I don't think the sellers were getting much for their efforts. So guess what? Even though I came in with no position, I still had a slightly bullish bias. I thought we were going to take apart some shorts this morning. So when we opened up here, again, that should have nothing to do, right? I understand I'm saying I have a little bullish bias, but I have an out here. So if I short that, I just put my stop above the overnight high. Well, if I had done that, it would have been a home run trade in A. Now, I had a good day today, okay? I worked my ass off in NQ to get most of my money back because I'll go over that in a minute. But I had a very good day in ES. So no excuse not to take that short. That's a beautiful risk-reward short, okay? If you short 34.35 and use 38, what was the overnight high? 36.75. Use 38 as your odd. That's a 3-point risk. Look what you would have gotten. So anyway, I didn't do that. The first trade I did take then was in B period in NQ. Now the reason I took it in NQ is they had one time frame down, so on a push up I was looking for shorts. Unfortunately though, where I was, again, I don't know NQ like I know ES, and that's something I'm still going to be learning. I don't know it like the back of my hand. So I took some, and then I added to it, and it ripped up some more. Now, it turned out I would have been right, but I was at 60 points. Not going to keep holding it. So I took it off. So I was at 60 points. It turned out to be very right, as you can see, because B went back down, C went down, but again, that's life. So I stepped away from that, and I started shorting ES and C period. I did well. We had a very, very difficult time taking out the overnight low today. A very difficult time. And then when we took it out, we didn't really get much initially. The tempo and volume was horrible before we finally broke with some decent volume. But I did well on shorts in C period and D period. I lost in E period because I took a short as we were going lower. I thought we'd get the overnight low. Didn't get it at that point, rallied, and I took it off for a 6-point loss. So at that point, I was up 8 points in ES after all that. But then in G period, I shorted against F's high because I thought that could be the afternoon rally high. Why didn't I short H's high? I have no idea. I should have. Just like this is a great risk-reward short against the overnight high, that's a great risk-reward short against F's high. Now, at that point, we hadn't gotten either side of the overnight, which is important to me, but everything still was in favor of the sellers with value. The IB low, we were trying to lower POC, so the opening, we hadn't seen the opening. So again, missed opportunity in A, missed opportunity in H. But I didn't miss it in G initially, and I didn't miss it in I. I made it decent in I period, even though the tempo and stuff wasn't good. And then again, I took advantage in K period and L period on shorts in ES and in NQ. So I made about 50 points back out of the 60 I was down in NQ, shorting L period. And ES I ended up with about 28 points. So a good day overall. Now another thing we discussed in the room. I try to get people not to catch and try to be, and not try to catch, I hate that term, catch a falling knife. But I like the term bottom feeder. Don't be a bottom feeder. What is a bottom feeder? They're trying to pick the lows. Do you even know where the lows are going to be when the market's going down in one time framing like this? Of course not. Now, okay, when we got down to 4,400 the first time, you want to take the long the first time against that? I don't have a problem with that, even though you have single prints above you, just to see if you get a responsive bounce. It did a little bit, but not a lot. And then when we got below it, guess what? Never saw it again. So what do we look for? A lot of times I say we look for to get 3 wide. But more importantly, and this goes on for all the time frames. I talk about it on the daily, and I'm talking about it on the intraday. Somebody's like, well, where do you think you look for a long? Well, the market has to come into balance. The only way the market's going to come into balance is take out a previous time frame high, and then at least you're in balance. Doesn't mean we're going to take back the whole trend day, but at least you're in balance. And that goes for the same thing on the daily, weekly, monthly. Speaking of the monthly, SPY finally took out the monthly low. Again, I'm not surprised. It took NQ a while to get their monthly low after NQ did. Same with SPY. ES did it yesterday. SPY does it today. So we're down on the weekly and daily. We're balanced on the monthly. We know these are short-term traders for the most part. Is the market getting too short and you're not getting paid enough? Well, the last 2 mornings, we opened up and took back a lot of what we did, but we never got into the upper distributions, I shouldn't say that. We didn't get accepted into those upper distributions. So difference, so for argument's sake, if we take back all the single prints, but then get rejected out of E's range, did anything really change? No. Yeah, we took back the trend day, but we're still down, right? We're still down the daily, and we never got acceptance into the upper distribution. So what do we look for? We look for either an inside day, number one, or if we do take out today's low, it's not by much, and then we come back in. Then I would call that at least consolidation. We really haven't had consolidation yet, and the volume finally picked up now. So we'll go over that in a minute. As far as destinations, so the upside are our 2 sets of single prints, 437.45 to 438.05, then 438.90 to 97, afternoon rally high of 440.61, H is high, and 441.43 daily high. SPY's downside is 435.75, today's low. Then they have 435.54 daily low and 434.41 daily low. SPY did not get any of the single prints yet from June 27th, that ES wiped out. I'll give them to you tomorrow if the market looks lower. NES, today's low is 78.50, then we have 74.50 daily low, 68.50 weekly low. For the upside, we have single prints 95.75 to 01.75. Single prints 10.50 to 11, and then we have afternoon rally high of 27.50 and today's high of 35.75. So where's our line in the sand before we get to the charts? Well, there's a bunch of them. The market spiked lower again, okay? Value is low. I'm in 3-tick increments, so it's a little, well, actually, we can go right here. See, value is totally lower today. So I'm going to use this one. The reason I have 2 ES is I keep N and O in this one, and this one, it just finishes regular trading hours. So where are our lines in the sand? There's a bunch of them. The first one will be the first set of single prints to get filled, right? To take back and get into the middle distribution. That's also value low. So there's going to be a line in the sand. Can buyers do it? Then your second one would be to take back the trend day and basically where the market spiked from. The price spike is these low. So those are two areas that bears want to defend and bulls need to take over. And even if the bulls do that, it still doesn't change anything yet. Unless we're inside the day and we have an inside day and we at least come into some semblance of balance. Remember, an inside day doesn't stop the one-time framing down. So those are your lines in the sand tomorrow. People keep asking me, why wasn't yesterday's low important to me? Because we're already down on the daily. Bulls aren't going to defend that. So the overnight low, which we had a tough time getting, is the place you want to defend. Did we defend it initially in A and B? Yeah, we did. And then C period took out the day's low. But that's why that low is not the same with today. If the overnight low is below today's low means nothing to me. Absolutely nothing. So again, these are things we talk about. So even though the market's busy and everything else, it's not an easy job to talk and trade and inform and educate. But I enjoy doing it. And that's what we do in this room for freaking $30 a month. So for the life of me, how more people haven't at least given us a try is way, way beyond my scope of understanding. Anyway, let's go to the charts now and look at. I know I told you it was going to be longer, but I hope it's a little more informational to show you the nuances we talk about. Let me show you one other thing before I go. In NQ, but I don't know if NQ. Yeah. Well, at the time, when NQ couldn't get 4Y today's low, I said that's a nuance, and it certainly was a nuance. Yes, we tried to go higher, but by that time we were lower in POC. So again, we talk about nuances all the time, and that's a big reason why. Now let's go to the charts. So the monthly in SPY is now in concert with ES. It's firmly balanced. How big a balance? Well, we still have 2-3 weeks to go in the month. So it depends. If we don't make much lower lows, I'd probably call it only a 2-month balance. If we get into June's range by a lot, well, then I'll call it a 3-month balance. But remember, markets don't go bull, bear. They go bull, balance. So the balance is just forming on the weekly. Okay? Now we closed June at 443.28. So far in the third quarter, we're down now for the quarter so far, where we closed. Okay? But again, it's early. So we're balanced on the monthly. We're firmly down on the daily. Remember, when this low happened, I said, what's our next destination? This low. Check it off. What's our next destination? This basically triple bottom. Do we test it? Why not? I think there's a good chance. We'll see if we find buyers around the 430, 431 level in SPY. But for now, the daily is down. The weekly is down. And Obviously, so is the daily. And this is 3 days now below both the 20 and the 50, and the 20 is starting to curl. Now, I hate that death cross thing and everything else, because by the time it happens, SPY could be down to here already. So you missed it. So that doesn't mean much to me. But we are below both the 20 and the 50. I like to see if we're above or below them, but those crosses don't mean much to me. Okay? So again, our volume right now is 94 million. So look, 3 days in a row now we've gone down. The first day was 75 million. Yesterday was 80 million. Today we're at 95 with still the after hours to come. Now it's not great volume, but it's increased each and every day. We got distance away each and every day. The trend gets old, and the trend is still young if you're getting that. So that's what we need to focus on tomorrow. If we take out today's low, do we get more distance or do we not? If we don't, then maybe the trend is at least slowing to the downside. You see these things we talk about, these little nuances? We talk about them all day in the room. Anyway, I hope you had a good day trading. Have a great night, rest up, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.